Alright guys, so we have a Frigidaire freezer. It's an upright unit, and the problem with this unit is it's not super cold. So whenever a unit is not working, you want to check down here. This is where all the cooling takes place, you may say, or the heat extraction. So this cover, we're going to take this cover off and we're going to get behind it. When you take this off, be mindful not to damage anything here. You want to take all the screws out, okay, and just bring this from the left and just kind of just set it here. We're going to be looking at the fan. That's what I think is the problem with it, so we'll find out once we get in. Now these are all Phillips screws. All these are the same, except for those two. They're longer. See, they are longer, so just remember that. If you get a screw that is kind of weird, doesn't want to come out, just turn as you pull slightly against the top. You might have to put a screwdriver behind it, but just be gentle, nothing crazy. And don't lose any screws. Keep them all together, easier to find them. And down here, sometimes get stuck. Now, this is the fan, and if you turn the fan, it should turn like pretty easily. I mean, you shouldn't have to do anything. So this is your evaporator, this is your thermostat, bimetal, and this can cause your unit not to defrost. In the back, you have a timer which runs the entire unit. That's pretty much your brain. And what it does, it keeps the unit running for maybe 8-9 hours. And when it goes into defrost, the heater at the bottom, I'll show you in a second, that comes on and melts the ice. That's where you got to make sure your door seals, all that stuff, are in good shape. So to keep the unit in good operation, the fan also helps to dissipate the excess frost. So when one of those fail, then you're going to have extra frost building up, and eventually it will not cool. Now, another thing that will stop it from cooling is the fan itself, because it's not moving. I'm going to plug this unit in, and you'll see that the fan does not come on. It will just, the unit, you'll hear the unit, but it will not turn on. Alright guys, right now the unit is running. That fan should be on. You can hear the refrigerant starting to flow. That's already cold. All that's normal. When the system is working correctly, you'll see nice frosty see, that's frosting, and the whole thing should be nice and frosty. You can see it moving. So it's all going to be frosty, the front coils and the back, when everything is working properly. That is from when I was cleaning it. There's some suds. So you can hear the refrigerant moving. Totally normal. Also, that is a screen. Make sure you keep that there. And it's good to pour a little bit of water down in the drain tube, maybe a few ounces, and that keeps warm air from traveling back into the freezer. And that would also help to keep your door from being so difficult to open as well. So there's the fan. As I was saying, it's not on because it's either broken or stuck. So sometimes you can actually get these rolling. So just want to show you. That's your meter. Put it on volts, AC. And I only have one hand here. So what you can do to check to see if you're getting power from the timer, you have your white lead, and you have, they're actually yellow. On the other side it's yellow, so, but right now we're concerned about what the fan is getting. Let's see if I get it in there better. There we go. And we should have 120 volts if everything is working correctly. You can see. So we know we're getting power to the fan, but the fan is not working. So we're going to either change the fan, or we're going to pull the fan out and see if we can rotate it. Sometimes you can take it apart to save it. It's not always bad. Sometimes they get stick or stuck because people, when they close their freezers, they leave the doors closed, and what ends up happening, the fan literally gets a little bit of rust, and it doesn't take much for them to get stuck. So you can also take a maybe a needle nose and rotate it. Don't turn it by the fan because you will damage it. I'll demonstrate. Alright guys, as you can see, the fan is not turning. So this is nothing more than a needle nose pliers. And what you're going to do, see the shaft, shiny piece, that's the only portion you want to touch. You do not want to touch the fan blades because you will damage them by turning. And what you're going to do, you're going to grab the shaft, make sure you get a good view. There it is, okay? Squeeze it, and you're going to turn it to the left and the right just a couple times. You'll see the fan itself moving. Okay, and just rock it a couple times just so you know it's free, and you want to pull the pliers away pretty quick. Okay, and you actually saw it started to move. Sometimes you can just basically give it a little touch. Okay, and if it's still stiff, you can grab it again and rotate it. Now sometimes you do have to remove them and lubricate. I like to put a little bit of WD-40, nothing crazy, but I think we can save this one. Now I'm turning it by hand pretty much now because it's pretty loose, so it's not going to hurt the fan, but when it's super stiff you don't want to do that. And just turn it a couple times, it'll start to go on its own. And if it's still stiff, just get a little bit of WD-40, just a tad bit, and we're going to spray it right there, and you'll see the difference. Alright, so where do you spray the WD-40? You want to spray it right in to that section of the fan. That's the motor. Just a little bit. Okay? Just a little bit, nothing crazy. And sometimes you'll just see it start to move. So now just hit it with your finger. And sometimes you can just tap them, nothing crazy. All you're doing is loosening up any corrosion, okay? And there it is. Now, I like to let it run for, a good hour or so before you actually do anything to it. Just keep it running, let it run, and with a little bit of WD-40, nothing crazy, that will get it going. And now what you could do, you could always unplug the freezer or unplug the fan if you want, and then plug it back in, and the fan should continue to run. If it keeps stopping, then you might need to dismantle it and clean it and put it back together and see if that does the trick. I was mentioning the frost pattern. You see the frost pattern, how it's building. When it's working properly, the whole system will be frosted over. That's how you know the unit is working properly. So we're going to let this run for a little bit, and then we're going to put her back together. We're going to finish cleaning it. Alright, so watching. Alright guys, this is the back of your freezer on a Frigidaire, and so this is your timer. Now, if you notice your unit is silent, the lights are on, you can come back here and you want to turn slowly clockwise, and the unit should click on. Sometimes when you have a power surge, they will actually just go into limp mode, and so this is basically your brain on your freezer. It's a timer, and you can turn it and it will turn the unit off. In fact, I'll demonstrate. Right now it's running, and we're going to put it pretty much in defrost, so clockwise. See, the compressor is off. You have to make sure though that you, right now it's plugged in, so we're going to actually unplug it shortly. Right now it's technically in defrost, but it's not cold enough to be, but the unit is idling and silent. So in the event you would do that, and the unit should turn back on. That black guy there is with the metal on top and the yellow wire and white wire. That's your start device. Sometimes those go bad and the compressor will not come on. Just a little random fact. So you would change that. All right. Thanks for watching.